Hi, all of you. Can anybody quickly confirm?
Can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So we already completed up to Kubernetes. Okay. So anybody have any questions today? We will start the Jenkins here. Have you started to do practical all of them in the Kubernetes? Are you still to do?
All done, sir.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's start with the CI/CD. Today we'll mostly cover the theoretical part of the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, and from tomorrow, if we'll get time today, then I will show you how the installation of Jenkins is going to work. Else we'll continue from tomorrow for that part. So let me just share my screen. The sound is breaking. Yeah, Binay.
Yeah, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's just start. Yeah, so this document of the CI/CD pipeline I will upload after the class. Lab file of the Jenkins I already uploaded here. Okay, and just this document I will upload. So we are going to understand first what is the CI/CD pipeline. Then we'll understand what it is. So if you know, like, see, CI/CD pipeline consists of the three ones. One is the CI, one is the CD, and one is the pipeline itself. You have to understand what is the meaning of CI here, what is the meaning of CD, and what is the meaning of the pipeline. CI is for the continuous integration. Okay. Continuous integration means we are continuously integrating something. Again, the explanation part will come later of the continuous integration. The second thing, CD either meant as continuous delivery or either it means as a continuous deploy. So for some of the situation, we say it as a CD as continuous delivery. For some of the situation, we say it as a continuous deployment. When to say it as a delivery, when to say it as a deployment. So just understand the process. Like take an example. There is a client who given you a project, okay, to create an application. Okay. So there can be two scenarios. Either the client is a technical person, either the client is not the technical person, right? If the client is a technical person, okay, and he asked you that you have to create an application. What you will do? You will create an application, okay, and you will directly hand over that application to him. That is known as the continuous delivery, where you deliver the product directly. Yep. Then what is a continuous deployment? So your client is non-technical person. He don't know anything about the technical. He just asked you that can you create an application like this? He created the application, but you cannot directly deliver that application, right? Because you have to first give him the demo. You have to show him by this things you can use the app. Okay, if there is some problem arises, you can fix like this. Okay, so basically we have to give the training to our client. Okay, and many of you know about the on-site opportunity we talked about, right? On-site opportunity basically where we go to the client location, we work for them there, okay, and then we again come back to our original office. So exact same thing in continuous deployment, the case where the client are non-technical person. As a developer, you will be writing the code and you will be giving the demo also. You will be giving training to their some employee also, okay, that how to use that application, how to fix minor bugs, everything like that. Continuous delivery, you don't have to worry about all this part, just you have to deliver them. Hope this continuous delivery and continuous deployment example is clear. Now, after CI and CD, there is a one more term here, the pipeline. Okay, what is the pipeline here? So, see, to see the best example of the pipeline, how pipeline works. Okay, so just understand that you have to prepare a vegetable or something. Okay, in that case, there is a steps you have to follow. Like you have to buy the vegetable, then you have to wash the vegetable, you have to cut the vegetable, right? And then only you can put it on the oil or gas stove, whatever. Okay. That means this is a fixed process. We have to follow these steps only. You cannot say that I will cook the food, then I am going to bring that vegetable from the market. right? It should be in the specific order. So exactly same thing in the pipeline, it also happens. If there is a, like, these all are the different color boxes, okay? If somebody is going to ask you which box is going to become first, okay, which box is going to become first from this pipeline, so definitely yellow one, because it is at the starting, so it is going to be come out first, okay? That means whoever will enter first inside this pipeline, that is going to be first, sir. Okay. You have to do the, like, there are 5 tasks is there, and somebody said you have to complete this 5 tasks. You have to complete that task in a specific order only. Task 1 will be completed, then only you will be doing the task. Task 2 will be completed, then only you will move to task 3. So like this way you have to do. And this is known as the pipeline method. Now, once you combine all these things, CI/CD pipeline, these 3 terms together, okay, so that is basically comes under the Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool which will provide you a opportunity to set it up CI/CD pipeline, okay, in your environment. Now, before understanding how Jenkins was solving the problem, everything, okay, you have to understand what was the problem if there was no CI/CD or there was no continuous integration in the market. Okay, so before Jenkins, what was the usual flow was a developer were writing. Okay, developers were writing the code like this. Once they write the code, they will keep that code in some central repository. It can be GitHub, it can be the SVN tool. Okay. Once they kept that code in this repository, so all are the developers, right? All developers are writing a project. That project, take an example as Amazon website, right? And everybody is doing some different things. All code will be scattered here in this repository, right? This developer uploaded 5 files. This developer uploaded 2 files like this one. Once the code came here, okay, then what will happen? We'll combine all this code and we'll move it to the integration team where they will try to combine all the files in a single, okay, collect all codes across repository. Once they will collect all the codes from all the developer, then what they will do, again, they will forward that code to the testing. So take an example, collecting all the codes them around 3 days time. After 3 days time, again, they forwarded it to the testing team. Testing team started to test the code. Testing team took around 6 to 7 days time. Okay. 6 to 7 days time to test the entire code. And after 7 days or 8 days, our testing team is saying that whatever the code you all are given, okay, that is wrong. Just think, like, after 7 day or 8 day, you are saying to a integration team that whatever the code you taken from the developer, that is wrong. Again, this integration team will take some time to notify that message again to the developer. Okay. Again, they took around 1 or 2 days. So after 9 to 10 days, okay, you are giving a message to the developer. That developer, whatever the code you written 10 days back, okay, that have some. Okay. Just try to think this process that to find a error, you are taking 9 to 10 days time. Okay. So again, developer will write the code. Again, this process will continue. Again, you will take 9 to 10 days, right, to check whether that code is correct. This process is time taking. The second problem is, since you are coming again after the 10 days, so it is not like that developer was sitting for the 10 days, right? He will be working on some different project. He started to write some different code, right? So if there is a person, okay, like as a human being, if our mind is concentrated on some other things, we'll forget the previous thing, right? Whatever the code I written 10 days back, for me, it will be really difficult to recall again. Okay. I have to again see all the codes, whatever the 2000 lines here, 1000 line of the code I written. Okay. I will check it again. I will spend some time. Then only I will get to know, okay, these things I done for this. So this is the error I can change. Okay. So this was time taking process, everything. So to solve this only, there is a method called after continuous integration. Continuous integration is implemented. And before this, one more thing, like every developer have to complete entire code of their application. Then only they can push it to the repository, and then only integration will happen. So here we have to keep waiting till all the developers completed the code. That was also the problem here. Now, how things changed after the implementation of continuous integration? So see, again, the developers are writing the code. They are keeping it in some repository, source code repository like GitHub. Okay. When they are uploading the code to the GitHub, now what is happening is uh, they are automatically sending that message to the Jenkins like. Yeah. Again, what is Jenkins? We'll come to know sometime. But see, when the code is getting uploaded here, okay, automatically GitHub is notifying a message or something to the Jenkins like that our code is updated. And also, these developers are not updating the entire code in a single code. Like if this developer completed the login page, they will upload it here. If this developer completed the payment page, they will upload it here. Like this way, it will be going. So once the code is uploaded and that message is sent to the Jenkins, like code is uploaded, what Jenkins will do? Jenkins will download this code from here, okay, and they will move it to the build team. Again, build team will take the help of the different types of the tool like Maven, okay. And with the help of the Maven, they will try to build the code. Build the code is basically change the human readable code to the machine language because we know that computer understands the binary language. We have to change that code files from human readable language to the machine language. Okay? And also they will merge the all different files. So once they build team is basically created at build file. Okay, then again Jenkins will take that file and they will pass it to the testing team. Okay. Again, testing team will test the code. And take an example when testing team was testing the code, that code was incorrect or something. Jenkins will quickly notify to the developers directly whether your code is success or whether code is your failure. Okay. So previously you are taking 10 days time. Now you are doing in less than minutes like that time. Because code is uploaded here, automatically it went to the build team. Build team took around 2 to 5 minutes time. Okay, with the help of the Maven, they built the code, everything. Okay, everything is automated, so we don't have to worry about. Directly code will come here and directly go to the built in Maven. Okay. Once the code is there, once Maven created a jar file or the var file, that file we are moving to the testing team. Testing team by just running the script, they will quickly get to know whether code is working perfectly fine or not. If no, they will quickly get the developer the message. Once the developer got the message, like our code is not working, and since the developer just written the code 10 to 15 minutes back, right? So for him, it will be really easy to go through the entire code. And also he written only part-wise code, not the entire code he written at a single time, right? He just completed the login page. If some error is coming, that means that error is coming from the login only. So quickly he will rectify it. And once he got the success, then only he will start to work on some add to cart page or notification page. Okay. Again, next time he will be uploading the code of the notification. And again, the testing team is saying there is some error. So this time, this developer don't have to check the code of the login page, right? Because login page was already success. So there is no error in that. That means whatever the new error is coming, that is coming from the notification page only. So they can easily rectify the problem. Once everything is done, like build team is able to build the file, testing team able to test the code, then only we'll deploy that code to our server. Okay, so these all are the flow after the continuous integration. Previously, which are taking the 10 to 15 days time just to get that whether error is there or not. Okay. Now we can get to know in 10 to 15 minutes that whether error is there in the code or not. Okay, so just that keep in mind. So these are the points like here developer is not pushing the entire application code at a time. I said it that they are going to push the code part wise. Okay. Second thing, they divided the code in the part wise, like first they just push the login code, second they push the payment page code like that. So when you are pushing the code in the part wise, then what is the benefit? So as a developer, when you are pushing the code part wise, okay, and with the help of the continuous integration, testing is also taking place part wise. Okay. So they will keep notifying you that whether error is coming, whether error is not coming. Even if error will be there, then you have to go only to the particular line of the code, whatever you written that day, right? Because till yesterday there was no error is coming. Now today Jenkins is saying that there is some error. Okay, that means whatever the code I written today, in that only error is come. So we can rectify it easily. So if now somebody will try to ask you that what is the continuous integration? You can simply say continuous integration is a process, okay, where we are doing the continuous build plus continuous test. We are continuously building the code and we are continuously testing the code. These two things we are doing in the continuous integration. So up to here, is it clear or any confusion in understanding the continuous integration part? Anybody? All clear up to here? You can keep it in chat also. Is it clear to all of you up to here? Still, Vinay, is it any doubt or something? Very clear from those. That's good. Okay, so let's continue. So see, now we are going to understand the CI/CD pipeline. Again, the same thing, whatever we discussed. This is the version control. Version control is the place where we are storing the code, like Git. Okay, GitHub, you can say it. After GitHub, when we develop or keep our code to the GitHub, what happens? Build team take the code, okay, and they try to build the code. Once they are building the code, then what happens? We do the unit testing, where we test the code part-wise, right? Once the code is tested part-wise, then what we are doing is we are deploying that. Where? We are deploying it to the staging environment, okay? So in a company, there is a two type of environment. One is the deploy to the production. One is the deploying to the staging. So deploying to the staging is like only the internal team member will be able to access the application. Deploying to production means entire person from the outer world will be also able to access that application. So first we'll deploy it in the staging. There we monitor that whether application is working perfectly fine or not. Again, they will do the auto testing again. Okay. Like everything, whatever we implemented till now, everything is working perfectly fine or not. Once everything is fine, then only we deploy to the production level. Once again it is deployed to the production, we have to keep measuring and validating that whether our application is behaving good or not, customer is happy with or not. Okay. If some customer is reporting any crash in the application or not. Okay. So these are all things we do. And since why it is known as the pipeline, because at every step you can get the feedback. Okay. Like take an example, when you pushed our code to the GitHub, okay, and this build team was trying to build the code, but they were not able to build so. Then all the next step will be terminated because this is a pipeline, right? First, this task should be completed, then only will be jumped to this task. Since this task is giving error, so entire cycle will stop, and this will give a feedback to the developers. Okay, that your code is not able to build. Again, developer will do some changes. New code will come here. Again, build team will try to do. Once the build will successful, then only they will pass it to the unit testing team. Again, unit testing team is saying that there is some error is there. Okay. Then again, they will forward that feedback. Developer will change the code and all these steps will be currently stopped. Again, the cycle will continue. And like this way, until and unless every step is clear, okay, will be going to get the production feedback. Even at the last, measure and validate team, okay, they'll be keep providing the feedback that whether our application is working perfectly fine or not, if any crash is there or not, okay, if customer is demanding any extra feature or not, okay, like these are. So this feedback is coming from every level of pipeline. This things you can keep in mind. Now, to understand the Jenkins flow, so you have to understand. Let's see, when we talk about a software development life cycle, that means we have to develop a software or application. We have to follow some steps. Like first, you have to do a proper planning of the. We do the proper planning. Once the planning is done, then what we do? We write the code. Okay. Once the code is completed, then we try to build the code. After building, we'll do the testing. After testing is done, then we deploy it. Then we make sure operation is getting successful of that application, and then we monitor the test. All these things are monitored or basically integrated with the help of the Jenkins. How? So once the code is completed and you push the code to the Git, okay, Jenkins is going to take the code from the GitHub and they will pass it to the build team. where built-in will be using the Maven like tool, okay, to build the file. And once the Maven team is whatever the file they are giving, either .var extension or whether .jar extension. Maven create two types of the file. One is .jar, one is the dot. Whatever the file they are giving, that file again took by the Jenkins and they will pass it to the testing team. Again, testing team with the help of the software like Selenium or something, Cypress. So they will try to test the code. Okay. Once they are testing the code and they are saying that everything is working perfectly fine, then only Jenkins is going to notify to the developer. If testing team is saying that code is not working perfectly fine, so what Jenkins will do, Jenkins will again pass this message to the planning team that code is failing or something. Again, developer will write the code, and again this process will continue. Once the deployment is done, then we'll keep monitoring and operating that whether our application is working perfectly fine or not. If some error will come, again that Jenkins is going to decide to the plan. And this is like a endless cycle. Okay, it will be keep monitoring, keep notifying, keep updating. Everything is going to be continuous in the nature. That's why we say it as a continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay. So Jenkins is a tool basically which helps us to automate the process of integration of tools. Okay. And these examples we already discussed in the starting also. That Jenkins logo will be something like a restaurant waiter. Okay. Basically, their work is to go to the every table, take the order, pass that information to the safe. Safe will prepare the food. They will take that food and they will deliver it, okay, on that particular day. Exact same thing Jenkins is doing. And to know something about Jenkins, you have to understand that Jenkins is an open source project. You don't have to pay anything for it. Second thing, it is written in Java programming language. And since it is written in Java programming language, it can run on any operating system in which Java is installed. If in your Windows you will install the Java, then you can run the Jenkins. Similarly, in the Linux machine, if you will install the Java, then you can run the Jenkins there. Okay. And anybody remember our HTTP website was working on which port? Do you remember? By default, our HTTP website was working on which port? Anybody?
Port 80, sir?
Yeah. So similarly, Jenkins is working on the port 8080. Okay. So like HTTP was, Jenkins was on the by default port 80. And since it is an open source project, so there is a strong community support will be there. Okay. And for everything, there is a plugin available. Okay. So any of you use the or know anything about the extension in Google Chrome? Have you heard about it? Anybody? Extensions in Google Chrome. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So extension in Google Chrome, like just helping you, okay, to get your work done. Okay, like for every scenario, we have extension. Like in my case, you'll see that there are so many extensions are there that I installed. Okay, like this is an extension called TouchMe. It will provide a VPN-like support inside your browser. Okay. Similarly, this is for a screen capturing. Like if I want to capture any tab of my screen, so this extension is going to help. So for every different scenario, there is a extension available. Similarly, in the Jenkins, okay, they have a concept called plugin. Okay. If you want to integrate Jenkins with the Maven, you have to download the Maven plugin. If you want to integrate Jenkins with the Artifactory, you have to download the Artifactory plugin. You have to integrate Jenkins with the GitHub, you have to download the plugin called GitHub. Okay. So for everything, there is a plugin already available. Like in our Android mobile phone, we have a Play Store, right? Where we already have all the applications there. Just we have to install it. Same thing in Jenkins, they also have a store. Okay. We have to just go there and we have to find our plugin, whatever we want to. Okay. And for every use cases, you will be see that there will be plugin available. So you don't have to worry about, just you have to find it and you have to install on top of the Jenkins and you are ready to use, ready to integrate. Okay. And now if you want a quick definition of the CI/CD, okay. So whenever developer write the code, okay, and we integrate all that code of all the developers at that point of time, and we build it, test it, and deliver or deploy that to the client, this entire process is known as the CI/CD. So to taking the code from the developers, okay, to integrate all the codes of all the developers, like because there will be not going to be a single developer, right? There will be multiple developers. You have to integrate all the code of all the developers. Then we have to build it, test it, deliver it, deploy it. Okay, and this entire process we say it as a CI/CD. And due to CI implementation, continuous integration. Okay, now you can see the problem of reporting the bugs or error like previously without CI/CD. Okay, what was happening? It was taking 10 to 15 days time just to notify that there is some bug in your code. Okay, but with the help of the CI, you can give that message in less than 10 to 15 minutes that your code is not working. There is error. Okay, so it was so fast, and you will understand that what is the workflow of Jenkins. So this is the workflow diagram of the Jenkins. So most of the part is the CI on CD is just a smaller part where we have to just deploy the application. Either you can with the help of the Docker like tool, Kubernetes like tool, okay, and whatever the image you are creating, just you have to deploy it there. That's all. But the main part is the CI only, where developer will be writing the code. They will be keeping that code to the Git. Like see, in the Docker class, if you remember, all of you remember the Docker file we created in the Docker class, right? Docker file everybody remember, right? How we created it. Yes or no? We created a Docker file, right? Like from base image sent to S7 like that way. So this type of the file is getting uploaded by to the Git, right? From the Git, what they will do, they will take the code. Jenkins will take the code. Okay. And take an example with that Docker file, there is basically a Java code also you rated. Okay. So you are going to create a Docker image in which you are going to run the Java code. Also. They retain the Java code. Also. Jenkins will take that Java code from there. They will move it to the Maven. What Maven will do? Maven will combine all the code files together and they will create a .jar extension file or something. Once that file is created, Jenkins will take it and pass it to the testing team. Testing team will again test it. Again, if there is a quality assurance team, they will forward it there also. They will check the UI part, everything. Once this all done, then only Jenkins will say that, okay, now we can deploy or deliver our application as per scenario. When to deploy, when to delivery. Okay, so I already explained you that if client is technical person and they know how to install and set up the application, then in that case, you have to just deliver the application. If the client is non-technical person, and hence we are going to the client side and install and configure the application, that is known as the continuous deployment. Again, the plugin exactly equal to the extension in Google Chrome, plug and play like feature. Okay, for every tool, whatever you can think of, okay, to integrate with the Jenkins, there is already plugin available. Just you have to install it and use it. Like if I am to attach Git plugin, Maven plugin, Selenium plugin, Artifactory plugin. Okay, what is Artifactory? One, so I will show you the Artifactory example. But till now, just understand that Artifactory is just like where you store your final source code. Okay, so there are the two source code. Like see, one is the raw code which we store directly on the GitHub. Okay, that is basically in the different format. All the developers have the different. But after creating and building the file, when we are getting a single code, okay, that code we are storing in the Artifactory type of the Artifactory is again is a storage tool, but it will help you to store the final source code ready to deploy. Okay. Like if you are taking the code from the Artifactory, then you don't have to do the build or test. You can directly deploy because it already contains the build, tested file, everything. Okay. So that is the final stage code. Again, what is the workflow? So basically, you see that once the developer puts the code on the GitHub, okay, so Jenkins pulls that code directly from the GitHub and send it to the to do the build of this. Okay. Once the build is done, what Jenkins will do is Jenkins will pull that code files or build file, okay, and send it to the Selenium like software for doing the testing every day. Once the testing is done, then what Jenkins will do is pull that code again and send it to the artifactory. Which will help you just store the final version of. So whenever in the later stage of our life or cycle when we'll require, we can take the code from the artifactory. We can also deploy with Jenkins also. Like we are just saying to the Jenkins that you have to deploy that particular code to the Docker, Kubernetes running on that machine. So like this way we can do it. And also Jenkins will help you to schedule the task. Like if there is a task, or to take an example, to create a folder or something. And that task, what I want to do is every morning 8 a.m. there should be a folder will be created with that particular date and time. Like see, what I want to do is if today is 14, okay, so I want to create a folder with the name mkdir 14th March. Okay, today. Tomorrow I want to run that mkdir 15th March, like that. Okay, so we want to create a task that will be going to be run every day basis. Okay, every day morning 8 a.m. So we can schedule the task also with that. These all things we can do. So this was about the quick intro of the CI/CD. Hope this theoretical part is clear. If you need doubt, you can ask me. Okay. Else I'm going to show you the installation of this. In theory, is it clear? Yes, it is. Both of you. Ram and Nikhil, right? Is the theory is clear till now?
It's clear. Thank you.
Okay, so let's keep up to here only because there are less people also. So installation will take it from tomorrow. Okay. So just revise this. I will upload this document just CI/CD. Okay, and we'll take
Thank
it
you.
from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.